Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times. Today I have for you another spoiler-free movie review of the ones that I'm catching up with from 2020. Today we're here to talk about Bad Hair.
It's coffee time!
Now, this movie was on my list of 2020 releases that I wanted to watch. I didn't know exactly what to expect from this film because anytime that the villain is an object, in this case a wig, I'm always a little bit concerned that it's gonna be too campy. This movie was okay, but I was kind of disappointed, and we're going to go now into more detail what the movie is about, what I liked, what I didn't like. So before we jump into the review, if you love movies, horror and collectibles, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here, and also hit the notification bell before you leave. Bad Hair is an American satirical comedy horror film written, directed and produced by Justin Simien, officially released in Hulu. Terror strikes when a woman's new hair weave seems to take on a life of its own. At the beginning of the film, we can see a little girl who basically is trying to get her hair fixed, and by trying to do so her sister messes up and she ends up really damaging her scalp, and since then she has been traumatized by this event. Now, as an adult and living in 1989, which is something that I really loved about the film, that it was based on the 80s, Anna is an assistant at a cultural and television station that is trying to help African American creators to get a foot on the industry and bring a little bit more awareness to their works. And all changes when her boss basically is exchanged for a new boss, and that new boss is a supermodel called Zora. So she basically tells her straight to her face that she needs to change her hair if she wants to be somebody in this business, if she wants to be promoted, if she wants a better job. She needs to fix her hair, and she advised her to go to this hairdresser to fix it and get one of those beautiful weaves. So this of course is making a reference of how people are being kind of pressured into adapting to the Western society and basically change the way that they naturally look in order to fit in, and how everybody just becomes a copy-paste, version of somebody else. And I really did enjoy all the whole social commentary of the film. My only problem was that when they tried to combine it with the horror, it kind of didn't work for me. So when she goes to this hair salon to get these wig put on, it's basically going to be sewed on her scalp, and that scene for me was the most uncomfortable, stressful scene of the whole movie. As somebody that has long curly hair, I have went to hairdressers that were so rough with my hair that I was just in pain, and I had to take care of my hair myself because I don't like going to other places, and my hair is just regular curly hair. I cannot imagine how it must feel for an African American woman to go to the hairdresser, but I was feeling her pain so much. I could barely watch that scene because I just felt really like I could relate to her so much. So that kind of body horror that I got there at the beginning was for me my favorite scene, just because it was really effective when it comes to creating this horror for me. This movie did have a lot of things that I liked. The atmosphere in the 80s with the radio station, and also there's a lot of shots at night, a lot of shots of her walking in the middle of the night on the street, or her apartment in the middle of the night and the outside city lights, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of a thriller noir kind of thing. And they also did a really good job when it comes, like I said, to the whole social commentary. There is also a fairy tale aspect added to the story, which is something that I really loved. I absolutely love when they take fairy tales and they are either really dark fairy tales, like in this case, or they take a regular fairy tale and they make it really dark. So I really love that aspect of the film. However, there is a lot of scenes or like little shots that they did, and you can tell it's just to be visually pleasing, but they didn't connect with the story. And that's what I mean. Like, I felt like the social commentary aspects and the themes that the movie had, that they were trying to portray, and on the other hand, the horror, the creepiness, the eeriness of some scenes, of some shots, they just didn't match. It's like we had two different things going on, and that's kind of what was the biggest issue for me. Another thing that was not really for me was the pacing. I felt that at some point the movie started dragging and it started getting a little bit repetitive, because the special effects and all of the shots about the hair being evil and being like kind of like a killer weave in the literal sense, it kind of wore off too quick. At some point they were using it so much that it didn't have any, you know, effect anymore. And the film didn't have really scary moments. It didn't have thrilling moments. It's not like I was fearing for anybody's life really either. So I was kind of missing like the scares and the thrill and that excitement. That was just not there for me. Another thing that unfortunately did not work for me, and that might be just my taste, was the humor in the movie. This kind of satirical dark humor. I just don't know, like these lines that they were trying to use when we were in a supposedly tense moment, those jokes didn't land for me, which is another thing that just didn't work in general. So at the end of the day, I gave this film a 2.5 out of 5. I unfortunately cannot give it more because for me it didn't work, but I know that a lot of people did enjoy this film, so I leave it up to you if you want to check it out or not. 2.5 for me means if you want to check it out for one time, it's okay, but I wouldn't pay for this film. That's basically what 2.5 means for me. I did enjoy certain aspects of the film. I enjoyed certain scenes. I enjoyed the fairy tale part of it, but there were also so many moments where I just felt like they were missing the mark. And like I have been saying, the combination between the themes, the political themes, the social commentary, and the horror, it just didn't merge well for me, and it just felt like a really great idea that just was not greatly executed. There is another movie about hair called Hair Extensions, I think it was, from 2007. It's a Japanese movie, and this one is a full-on horror. So if you're looking for a horror movie that has hair as the villain, it was done in 2007 already. And this one is about a morgue assistant that decides to sell the hair of the victims that land at the morgue, but it has of course really bad consequences. So if we're looking for another movie about hair, killing hair, then you might want to check that one out. Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed this spoiler-free review of the movie Bad Hair from 2020. Let me know down below if you have watched it, what you thought of it. Was it your cup of tea? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!